Hi everyone, welcome to ELI, the place where you get your daily dose of inspiration for entrepreneurship. And today we have with us Mr. Mahesh Kulkarni, the co-founder of AFour Technologies, which provides software product engineering services to enterprises. Mahesh is a graduate of BITS Pilani and had worked for multiple companies in software engineering field before starting AFour Technologies in 2007. Hi Mahesh, welcome to ELI.
Thank you, Priya, for inviting me to the ELI. Hi, everyone.
Uh, I would request you to introduce yourself to our audience, please.
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Mahesh Kulkarni. I am the co-founder and managing director of AFour Technologies. I did my schooling from Aurangabad and went to college in BITS Pilani. And being a chemical engineer, I initially joined a chemical product organization for some time. And however, then moved to the IT industry and worked in companies like TechLead Software, Disha Technologies for a decade or so. And as a part of my job, I built software engineering teams at various locations and enjoyed it. And that's about me. Thank you again for inviting me to ELI.
Tell us about AFour Technologies. What is it into? What the products or services do we provide?
Sure, sure. So we at AFour started our journey in 2007. And AFour stands for 4 A's: agility, automation, attitude, and aptitude. We are a digital engineering services organization. I'll talk a bit about this. In the history, we had scientific revolution when people started questioning the old beliefs, and then we had economic and industrial revolution when the modern financial, manufacturing, trading systems were established. Right, so that was when it happened. And then, since the later half or later part of the 20th century, we have been going through information management revolution, right, where the quantum and time of the information processing is extremely important, as we all know, right? Hence, the value of information technology services, right, as we all are aware of. Earlier days of IT revolution, there were various segments, like B2B products, B2C products, enterprise solutions, etc. Right now, everything is slowly getting merged into a common thing called digital assets, right? Digital platform, and then they are based on their offerings. They are classified into infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software service, application as a service, and so on and so forth. Right. So whether it's an enterprise software product organization or ISVs as we call them, or software product companies, ISVs, they are always on their continuous journey of digital transformation. Right. So this is an ongoing journey. And AFour helps the digital clients in their digital transformation journey by providing the digital engineering services. Right. So it starts from information architecture design, UI UX, then technology architecture design and development, that is product engineering services or digital assist engineering services, and then deployment architecture design, which is like deploying, like, and making sure the products get the right environment, whether on their own cloud or a public cloud, and so on and so forth. Right. So that is essentially, we are around 350 people organization, and we are based in USA as well as India.
Okay. What is the essential problem statement that you are solving through your venture?
Yeah. So it's the same thing that I talked about, right? Customers, when they have a business vision, right, they have a certain business offering. They need to rely heavily on information technology, right? No business can do without information technology, right? And that's where they come to us, right? Or we approach them, and then basically we see to it that we have a big canvas where there are various phases of the canvas. For example, what is their business vision? How are their existing digital assets mapping to those business goals? Are they really covered, or do they need integration, or they need migration, as many people call it as a modernization? And then basically taking it from there, we come up with a vision roadmap for the business, the customer that we have, and then we slowly migrate them from one point A to point B, so that they can do better in their business.
Okay. Now tell us about the initial days of AFour Technologies. Can you tell us how it all started and when did you think of becoming an entrepreneur?
Yeah, so that's a that interesting thing, right? Actually, so as I mentioned, right, I was working in the IT industry, and worked in the industry in India as well as outside India for around a decade, right? And then enjoyed technology aspect as well as team building aspects, right? Then urge to start the own business was always there, and so in 2007, when I completed 10 years of my professional life, decided to take a plunge and started AFour Technologies with my business partner and co-founder, Subodh Purlikar. Subodh is based in Redmond, in Washington State in USA, right? And that's how. Uh, and So basically, interesting thing is that the moment we got people got to know that we are starting this new organization, like quite a few people approached and expressed their interest in joining us.
Mhm.
But then we had many enthusiastic people who were interested in joining on day one. But I mean, when before we start the business, we knew that these people would be interested in joining us, but we didn't have project, we didn't have customer. So it was an interesting situation. We had people, but no project. And another interesting aspect is that we started our journey on 1st April. So
Mm.
that was, like a day people call typically Fool's Day. So we decided to take the plunge.
Right. And you spoke about no customers on day one. How did you find the initial few clients for your company?
Correct, correct. So, that is basically that's how it is, right? Actually, when you take a leap of faith, as they say, right, there's always something available for you, right? So, fortunately, on day one, we got this inquiry actually, and which had a great fit in our services portfolio. And when we happened to visit this prospect, they offered us the project, right? So on day one, we could bag our first project, and then since then, uh, like we had a nice journey. But
Okay.
then initial few days, right? This is about the first customer, but then we had challenges because we were hoping because of our track record of working with a renowned enterprise organization, software organization, that we will get some interesting work from that organization because of our contacts and all. But as the interesting aspect of business is we never got any business from that particular organization which we were heavily hoping for, and then we had to kind of run around, try different avenues, and eventually things worked for us.
What is the current scale of operation in terms of how many clients do we serve and um, how many geographies are we present in?
Yes. Right. So we are largely into US geography because that's where our business development and marketing team presence is there. All various areas of US geography that we work with, and we are primarily into high tech business, right? So, and as people say, Seattle is the cloud capital of the world, and we have our presence in Seattle area, and that helps us work with a lot of interesting cloud organizations and high tech companies in that area. We also have some presence in Bay Area. Other than that, we recently started getting in Europe, and we have few clients from that geography also, and a few customers from Asia Pacific region. So that's, and we have around around 40 odd active customers, and it's around 350 people working for these customers.
What are the different challenges that you have faced so far while building and growing this venture?
Right. I mean, yes, I mean, challenges, there are many of them, right? Actually, you name an area, right? And then there are challenges basically. Right? You have, and one of the things that we had was, I mean, personally, I did not have any formal MBA, like education basically, right? So whatever I learned, right, in the operations area, that is from the field, right? And that's where initially made be, it's like there'd be HR administration, IT, talent acquisition, training, right? Creating, knowledge base. You name an area, and we've seen challenges, right? Actually, how do we make sure that we hire right amount of talent, and at the same time, when we hire good amount of talent, how do we make sure that they are engaged, right? And they are learning and challenged all the time. So many challenges typically a services company faces.
Right. Any pivots that you have done to your business model throughout the journey?
See, it basically, again, we had these choices, right? Actually, whenever you get these choices, you have to decide, right? Typically, whether to hire a senior person, right? Then it's like a choice that you're making. Then whether you're getting into a particular new service or not, right? You have to, make a big decision on that, because then a lot of your strategy and investments are going to get along with that. So we've had these challenges and decision points where we had opportunity to restrict our services and grow more client base, or like not worry about growing the client base, but increase our set of capabilities, right? And then make sure that we become a one-stop solution for existing set of customers. So we decided, right, we will stick to the high-tech industry, high-tech customer base, and then offer a wide range of services. That is how we migrated from a very reliability engineering focused organization to overall digital engineering, 360-degree digital engineering organization.
Okay. Now we'll talk about a bit about the personal side of being an entrepreneur. Can you tell us how do you manage your time? Being a service-based company, I assume that you have to attend a lot of meetings every day, and uh, have to cater to your demanding clients. How do you manage time?
Yes, sure. I mean, that's one of the things, right? Actually, when you are a team of people, right? One of the interesting things is that you can definitely organize your important activities. And that's very, very important, having a team instead of having a single founder in the organization, right? As they say, a vehicle, if at least has two wheels, it can have a good speed. At the same time, it can have good balance, right? So that's interesting. So between US timings and India timings, Subodh and I, we work together and ensure that the time is well distributed. And at the same time, we also have a great set of people, right, who have become great believers in the organization, the senior leadership as we call them, and then they also equally contribute. So whenever there is a new initiative, we ensure that we make sure that the time is accounted properly, right? It's even though if it's ambitious, we're making sure that the right set of resources are available with the right person, and see to it that no one is getting burnt excessively because of this aggressive initiatives that we are taking. And at the same time, we believe that, right, like a growth is to be enjoyed, right? I mean, time is constant. It just continues, right? As long as you apply yourself to the time, that becomes kind of interesting journey. So we make sure that we have people apply to the organizational time as well as apply to the personal lifetime, right, with equal importance, right? So they apply to the organization to an extent, and they also apply to their personal time, right, very effectively. So making sure that work-life balance is maintained, people are happy.
uh, any service-based organization would be as good as the people in it. So a big part of building a quality service company is hiring quality talent into the company. Can you tell us how do you go about recruiting people and making sure that they are good fit for your organization?
Absolutely, that is you've like nailed it basically. See, IT is all about people, right? I mean, today the hardware that our organization uses probably the same hardware the other organization is using. Uh, the It all depends on the people that you have in the team, right? So one of the things that we ensure that there are certain parameters, right? One comes to the competencies, other comes to attitude, and other comes to the values, right? So all three areas we ensure that we are happy, right? The series of the screening process or the interview process that we have, we make sure that we are happy on all the fronts. It's not that we are getting extremely competent person who doesn't match in our cultural system. And culture for us is nothing but the set of values that we believe, that we cherish, that we celebrate, right? So we make sure that all these three areas a person. So even if there is a bit of a gap in the aptitude or a set of competencies, we are confident that we can eventually get the person up to speed. But value system, we are very, very particular, right? And that's how we are happy to have great set of people so far.
How do you stay energetic as a founder? So big part of being a founder is staying energetic and consistent through time. And if you're not, then the business will suffer. So how do you make sure that you are consistent and energetic?
Yeah, yeah, you're right actually, because your energy is not limited to you. Your energy also has to induce right in your team, basically to be induced in your team. So what is again, that is very, very important, that we make sure ourselves that we are not taking all the load on ourselves, right? We are equally involving people, right? We are making sure right from the early stages of any initiative, right, we are having like as many participants as possible. So that way, when it comes to delegation, sharing of efforts, right, other people can also contribute, right, and they also feel challenged, right? So one of the important things is that for people to kind of be motivated, that they are always challenged, right? Because this is a common, urge of a active human mind, right, to be working on a challenging problem and to be able to solve such problem creatively. So we make sure that people are challenged, and whenever there is new initiative, before getting into that initiative, always there is a urge, right? You have this acumen that tells you, okay, let's jump onto it and let's get going. At the same time, we have to make sure that we get opinion from people. We see how more creative we can make it. How it's one is that as they say, right, if you want to uh, travel fast, walk alone, and if you want to travel far, walk together, right? So we make sure that people are involved right from day one, and we make sure that our job is to make things more and more challenging, more and more disruptive, and let the solution come from other creative people in the organization. So that energy is always coming from all over.
Right. Uh, can you tell us how does a typical day look like for you?
Yeah, so basically, again, when in the beginning is I'm a fitness freak basically. So in the morning, typically you get up, right? You just make sure that you have you come to senses first, right? By having some basic set of exercises, some breathing kind of exercises. And make sure that then once you're fresh, go through all the communication that you've received, right? So that basically there's you can there's iterative planning that I typically do for the day. So first iteration happens right in some of the early few minutes of the day, right? And then once you kind of understand right what is there on the plate for you, right, without planning in detail, you then go for I personally go for another set of fitness iteration, where I make sure that it was like you are very active and up to speed for the day. And then basically you get on to kind of once you finish your personal morning time, then you make sure that your day is properly planned, prioritize your activities, see to it that what are the activities that you need to get started, what are the activities you need to finish, what are the activities that you need to kind of delegate. So you do all that communication, and throughout the day then you iteratively work on these activities, communicate with people, participate in meetings, set for the new milestones, action items, and so on and so forth. And towards the end of the day, basically again have some calm time, right, actually, and then make sure that you kind of get your body to that calmness, right? Just try to dissociate from all the hectic activities of the day. Make sure that you spend some time with the book, spend some time with the family, recreation, so that you can kind of have a blank slate when you call it a day.
Right. What are the different challenges and failures that you have gone through as an entrepreneur while building and growing this venture?
Right. So, see, again, as you say, right, challenges are all along, right? When you kind of when you start a journey, and interesting part about being entrepreneur is that buck stops with you, right? So that's thing, right? You can't just do away with the decision, right? So you have to make sure that you take a decision. You have to take that call, right, frequently. So many times, if you are not up to date on certain area, then there are chances that you may not have taken the best decision. It comes to investing in infrastructure or hiring right set of people, basically creation of policies, modification of the policies, taking certain policy decisions. So there, if you are not up to date, you may not do the best decision many a times, basically, or at times. But then you have to kind of live with that challenge, and you have to see how you can improve it in the next iteration, right? So the good idea is that try to be up to date as much as possible, and that gives you right wisdom to apply for the next set of decisions. So
Okay.
challenges are fun.
Can you tell us what is the meaning of entrepreneurship to you? How would you define the term entrepreneur?
Yes. So it's like this: someone who generates the value from an idea, right? For me, the entrepreneur is the one who generates the value from the idea. The value is not necessarily in the form of money. I mean, even if it's important, it could be helping people with better lives, right? For example, we talk about social entrepreneurship, right? Or employment generation. Value could be in terms of employment generation. More taxes to the government, right? More travel and experience for the people in the organization. More opportunity to work on challenging problems, right? Disruptive ideas. So these are all value generation opportunities, basically. So entrepreneurship has to do with value generation, and I believe it is the most effective way of making a world a better place day by day. That's what entrepreneurs do.
Okay. Tell us what are the different lessons that you have learned as an entrepreneur, which we can take away and apply to our lives and our ventures.
Yes, it's basically importantly, as I said, right, as an entrepreneur, you have to see to that you have a very good view of all the departments, teams all the time, right? And by it's just not policing the organization, it is making sure that people are at all levels, right, and involved, right? So if people with the higher capabilities or competencies, they are not challenged enough, right? Then then we have you can see you're getting into some kind of a problems, right? So because as I said, right, it's contributing to a challenging goal is the basic necessity of the active human mind. So that's important. Have a lot of interactions as an entrepreneur. One should have a lot of interactions with as many people in the organizations as one can, right? This need not be just around the work. It could be just casual over the coffee kind of conversation without any subject in mind, any topic in mind. Just connect, right? Basically, that is important. Because that induction effect of your energy is the best tonic for the people in the organization, right? So, and importantly, in case of tough times, I believe that you look for answers among own people, right? Because they believe in the organizational goals, and these people have put in equally good amount of effort, right, as you have put in. So, and another thing I can add to this is do generate good amount of goodwill, right? That helps big time in tough times to the organization, right? So definitely have generate good amount of goodwill among the other things that you generate in the organization.
Okay. Due to constraint of time, I just have one question left. What would be your message to someone who is just like you, but 10 or 20 years younger than you?
Sure. I would love to talk about it. I believe the life of entrepreneur is like driving a car through hilly roads, right? It is full of blind patches followed by ups and downs, right? excellent views at times, as well as garbage dumps in between, right? We see all that in the journey. But the journey is worth your commitment, hard work, belief, right? And a particular patch may be bad, right? That may not be as a great view or as great patch, maybe full of traffic and so on and so forth. However, if you analyze the overall journey, not patch by patch, but longer stints, then you'll see it gets better and better at every stint. So have fun and continue contributing to making world a better place day by day. That's what I can say.
Okay. Well, on this note, we have come to the end of our discussion. Thanks for your time, Mahesh, and our best wishes for AFour Technologies.
Thank you so much, Priya, for inviting me to this forum, and best wishes to all the people of ELI and all the audience. Thank you.